Hey folks, and welcome back to another episode of DGS2 Case 2. We are now confirming how Potensi was able to cheat the system with the gas lamps, which has something to do with the soap that we found sitting on the windowsill and more soap that was on his table at this point, where he basically just made a mold of the coin in order to trick the gas lamps machines to give him gas.
What utter nonsense! If he'd done something like that, there should have been wax coins inside the meter.
That's true. For the counterfeit coins to have magically disappeared from inside the meter like that.
They may not have been wax. So that's what happened. There's just one way he could have made the fake coins magically disappear. Precisely. The answer lies within this meter.
What do you mean?
There's clear evidence of that magic left on it.
In that case, the court would like the defense to point it out. What evidence shows how the counterfeit coins could have been erased?
Before we do that, this is a very sturdy lock.
What are you doing?
I just wonder if I might be able to pluck it off if I put some muscle into it. If you break it, they might pluck a fine from your wallet. Whoa! That was so close. Why didn't you say so sooner? Naruhodō! Why are you trying to open the lock? We found this soap outside the window of the crime scene.
Outside the window.
On a winter's night, cold enough to freeze the dripping nose of the witness who was keeping watch over the boarding house. This soap was sitting outside the window.
No! I see.
Right. The answer, of course, is ice.
Oh!
Every night, Potensi-san pours water in the soap and sets it outside his window. It sits out there all night at below freezing temperatures, and by morning it should be completely frozen. He exchanges the ice coins for gas to light his room and run his stove. And the balmy air inside the room causes the ice inside the meter to melt. Then, of course, the melted ice becomes water. It trickles out through the hole in the bottom and drips onto the floor. That's how he's able to steal gas without leaving any evidence. Oh yeah!
All this time, he's been using a simple trick like that to fool us? With just some soap and ice? He used an insultingly simple means to...
I'm afraid so.
Impossible! I can't believe it! After all the expense we went to develop those meters, and you're trying to say he just had to use some soap and water? Are you mocking us?
She is really salty. Yelling at me isn't going to help.
Prove it.
Huh?
If such trickery really occurred, then prove it.
Oh, that's a company's president's wife for you. What fearsome intensity. Very well, in that case, I accept your demand.
What?
Naruhodō-sama, do you really have proof? Oh yeah! Actually, there's one trace that I've been wondering about. If I'm not mistaken, that's the answer I'm looking for. The proof that Mr. Potensi stole gas using coins made of ice is... presenting the crime scene photo. This is a photo of the crime scene taken by Detective Gregson. And the traces left behind by Potenshi-san's crime are clearly captured in it. Traces, you say? Yeah, there's a big giant puddle! This is the gas meter in Potenshi-san's room. Now, please look at the floorboards below the meter.
What's this? It appears to be some sort of stain.
The stain was likely made by the water as it dripped out of the meter.
Ugh!
2 hours of light cost 1 3-pence coin. If one were in one's room during the day and also using the stove, we can assume that in one day he would have needed 10 ice coins. The melted ice inside the meter was constantly dripping onto the floor. And eventually, it left a stain on the floorboards.
My God!
And that's not all. Potenshi-san, having collapsed after a fit due to the strychnine, had before him a half-bar of soap.
Soap?
Does this mean what I think it does? That he was trying to eat it?
No. Hearing you say such a thing is rather frightening, Your Honor. But that's not the case. He doesn't beat around the bush. By the way, you'll notice that Potenshi-san has a fork in his hand.
So I was right. He was trying to eat.
Wait! So he was using that fork too? Precisely. We can assume that he was using it to dig the ice coin out of the depression.
Ugh!
However, when you look at how the soap was broken in half, it appears that he failed.
Good Lord.
Lord Van Zeeks? Unfortunately, there was no spoon at hand for me to throw. Therefore, I had no choice but take my anger out on the Lord's bottle. I pray you can forgive me.
What do you mean?
Allow me to ask the defense one thing. Just, what is it that you've proven with this cross-examination? Well, yeah. That William Potenshi is a thief and a liar. In other words, we've proven the fact that his testimony cannot be trusted. That's right. That's the very fact. In that case, allow me to ask you further. The victim is a liar. What does that change? First of all, there's no chance he attempted suicide. We know this because the police found no evidence of any vessel that could have contained the poison having been disposed of. On the night of the murder, he had no other visitors besides the defendant. The perfectly trustworthy gas company youth in the yellow testified as such. And that the means by which the victim ingested the poison could only have been the defendant's tea. You still have yet to produce a single piece of evidence to overturn that fact. Regardless of what sorts of lies William Potenshi has told, all these facts have been objectively proven. It's based on the aforementioned reasoning that the prosecution moves to have a swift judgment made.
Order! Well, defense?
Naruhodō-sama. Is he right? Did that cross-examination really not open up any new possibilities? Raise an objection? Wait and see. We're raising an objection! Or else this trial's gonna end really fast. That's not true! The defense's investigation isn't complete yet. What?
But everything seems quite clear to me, including the way he stole gas and the evidence proving it. But an investigation could still be necessary.
Prosecutor Van Ziek stated 3 facts, but those certainly haven't been objectively proven. What are you talking about, Japanese boy? At least one of those things should have been impossible to investigate due to a lack of evidence having been left behind. Oh! However, the situation has totally changed thanks to the cross-examination I just conducted. Ridiculous! What situation is that? If I consider everything that I've seen so far, I should be able to find a fact that we've now become able to investigate. That would be, was he poisoned by a third party? Was there a second visitor? Was the poison in the tea? It's the third option. Was there poison in the tea? The deadly poison strychnine that Potensi-san consumed was in the tea that Souseki-san brought. That was a theory at most. The victim himself swore that he'd not consumed a thing besides that tea. And as there was none of that tea left at the crime scene, it was impossible to perform any test on it. As I just said, that situation has already changed. There was some of Souseki-san's tea remaining at the crime scene. And I've got evidence to prove it. What foolishness. The yard detectives investigated every last corner of that room. Just where do you claim such a thing could have been hiding?
It seems that the defense has a thought on the matter. The court requests that you present evidence. You say that some of the defendant's tea remains at the scene of the crime. Present evidence of its presence.
Present the soap.
This is the soap from before. The one used to make the ice coins.
Yes, I just remembered. What happened yesterday when we discovered this soap at the crime scene? This is soap. Soap? What's it doing outside the window? When we found this soap, as I recall, an ice coin had been made in this depression. So you discover the seed of some gas theft, that's all. Yes, but there's one problem. The coin we saw at that time wasn't just regular ice.
It wasn't regular ice?
Yes, that ice was reddish. It was reddish. It can't be. Yes, that's right. Now we can be sure. That ice coin was made from tea. What? Souseki-san testified the following earlier regarding the night of the crime.
That night, I admit that I did bring some hot tea to his room as a token of goodwill. The plumbing had frozen, so I had to go and buy the water, heat it up. And yet, this is what happens! I'll never make tea again as long as I live!
That's true. It was quite frigid on the night of the crime, as well as snowing. So the water pipes had frozen. It's a common occurrence in the East End.
They couldn't use the water that night. That's why Potensi-san had no choice but to use the tea Souseki-san brought that night to make his ice coins.
Ah!
At the time, there were 2 bars of soap lined up outside the window. Yes, and we borrowed one of them. In other words, some of Souseki-san's tea remains at the crime scene even now. It's outside the window, frozen solid inside the soap. Whoops, I went too fast.
I say.
Detective Gregson testified the following earlier. If there had been even a drop of tea at the crime scene, we could have investigated it. Now we can know for certain whether there was any strychnine in the tea Souseki-san brought. You Japanese bastard! Hey now, that's rude! Come on! He just pointed out something here. I mean, it's better than your theories, at least now we can clarify. You can't make a ruling on the defendant at this time. Please, you need to send the investigative team to the crime scene and have them recover the soap. Then, the defense requests a test be run to determine whether there is any deadly poison in it.
But, bailiff! Quickly, send an officer to the crime scene!
Right away, sir. Your Honor.
It seems that we have no choice but to put this trial on hold for the time being. Is that all right with you, Lord Van Zeeks?
As you wish.
The police will submit a report of the findings made on the tea at the crime scene. Now then, the trial will reconvene tomorrow at the same time. The prosecution and defense will continue their respective investigations.
Yes, Your Honor. Oh, he's so pissed. It looks like we'll live to fight another day, I guess.
Now then, that concludes the trial for today.
And probably a to be continued, but we are continuing because we have 13 minutes. 12 minutes. You know, you get what I mean. Well, 13 minutes. Don't save. Come on, let's go, let's go. Woo! Alright then. It's February 22nd, 1:11 p.m. Naruhodō Legal Consultation Offices. Before there was stuff in it. We somehow managed to make it back home in one piece. To be honest, I wasn't so sure for a moment there that we would.
I was thinking the same thing. After all, there are so many carriages on London city streets, and you've been hit by so many of them.
What? Oh, I didn't mean that.
Yes, I know. That was an outstanding defense. I was truly impressed.
Oh, thank you.
You managed to come back from the brink of destruction with some vital investigation time. Let's find some new clues before tomorrow's trial.
Yeah, you're right.
What's wrong?
Nothing. It just still doesn't feel real. Me, standing in court as a defense attorney. The one who's really supposed to be here is him. Asogi Kazuma. Oh no! Oh no, we're gonna talk about him!
Kazuma-sama entrusted his mission to you, didn't he?
Yeah. I never got the chance to find out exactly what it was, but the fact that I'm standing here now is thanks to him.
You fought valiantly. I'm sure Kazuma-sama would say the same thing.
Oh my god. Feelings! Thanks, Susato-san. Ah! Oh, child. Okay. We are going to not move. We're going to present stuff. How about this, Susato-san?
We found that outside the window of Potensi-sama's room, didn't we?
Ever since then, I've kind of been afraid to wash my hands. I'm worried that there might be poison in this soap and that it might kill me.
I believe that soap ended up being innocent and harmless.
Well, I mean, Yeah, but now I'm scared. So I was thinking it might just be better if I never wash my hands again as long as I live.
It really wouldn't be better. Please continue to wash them properly.
I guess there's another room back there.
I decided to use that as my private quarters.
Oh, shall I help you unpack your things?
Oh, no, that's alright.
I just thought it might be helpful to have a man's strength.
I'll be fine, thank you. A maiden's room is full of all of her sweetest, spiciest secrets.
The only secret I've got is the 5 yen bill hidden behind my Daruma figure. Daruma figure! What? Talking! Today's trial. But I sure got thrown for a loop today. Never dreamed that the victim himself would suddenly show up in court.
William Potensi-sama.
And as if that weren't enough, Potensi-san turned out to be an audacious gas thief.
You're right. That was quite shocking. We almost forgot for a moment that Souseki-sama had poisoned him.
No. Souseki-san didn't poison anyone. I can't help feeling that there's more going on with Potensi-san.
At the very least, we can be sure that he's neither pure nor honest.
Come to think of it, what happened to Potensi-san after that?
It seems that he was returned to his own hospital room.
His hospital room?
At St. Bartholomew's Hospital.
I feel like I've heard of that hospital. I think we just went there the other day.
It's the same hospital we visited yesterday to meet Viridian-sama.
Oh, right. After Souseki-san stabbed her in the back with that knife.
No! It wasn't Souseki-sama who stabbed her.
Sounds like we both need to re-examine the way we think about Souseki-san. Huh. Yeah. St. Bartholomew's Hospital, huh? We should probably check it out later. What will happen next? So, on the night of the crime, Souseki-san made some tea and visited the victim. But if Souseki-san isn't the culprit, then naturally.
That's right. There must not have been any poison in the tea.
In which case, how in the world did the victim ingest the poison?
There must be some sort of clue regarding that at the crime scene. In Potensi-sama's room.
Scotland Yard detective investigated, of course, but I can't help feeling like we should go have a look around on our own too.
Yes, also, I'm very curious about the test result of the tea left behind in the soap.
Let's ask Detective Gregson next time we see him. Oh no! Inherited intentions! No! Why? Why? Asogi Kazuma. He was my best friend and a defense attorney. He helped me out before we left Japan. I can't forget even now how gallant he looked. And when the trial was over, he said this to me. Stowaway?
This is you we're talking about here. I bet you could fit yourself perfectly into my clothing trunk.
Come on, Asogi. Can't you tell me why we're doing this? Why are you going to such lengths to get me to Great Britain?
Ever since that trial finished, I've been thinking. You were meant to become a defense attorney. You have talent. I can guarantee that.
But as of right now, I don't have any plans to become a defense attorney.
Well, that's something you'll have to decide for yourself. London is on the cutting edge of culture, and said to be a city that the rest of the world revolves around. I doubt there's anything to be lost by seeing it with your own eyes.
Well, That's probably true, but...
But, personally, I was hoping you'd become a defense attorney. And then somehow...
Somehow... what?
Nah, it's nothing.
It's not nothing, Asogi! Why didn't you tell us then? What is it that you're trying to hide from us? What did you want Naruhodō to do? God damn you!
Naruhodō-sama?
Oh, I was just thinking about him.
Kazuma-sama. I've never once forgotten about him either. I want to change Japan's legal system. That was Kazuma-sama's wish. And in order to achieve it, he was determined to study in the Great British Empire.
Yeah, that's right, but...
What is it?
his true motive may actually have been something else. To be honest, I think that sometimes... Asogi's true motive.
Naruhodō-sama, what do you think Kazuma-sama's true motive was?
This.
Kazuma-sama's katana.
When he died, I just sort of took this from him.
Yes, I requested that you take it.
With this tied to my hip, I gained the courage to stand in court.
That makes sense.
Actually, on the night he died, he said something like this to me. Karuma.
Yeah, it's a famous sword that's been passed down through generations in the Asogi family. A katana contains a Japanese person's soul. I cannot allow myself to be separated from it. This sword will be my support. I truly believe that.
Slicing evil in half with one swipe. That spirit suits you.
Yeah, that's what I meant. There's something in England that I absolutely have to do.
Something you have to do?
That's right. I'd appreciate it if you saw me through it.
Sure, that's fine. I'll see you to the very end for sure. But Naruhodō, do you even know what he's even talking about?
I'm counting on you.
Naruhodo's unwavering devotion to Asogi is amazing, because he doesn't even question it.
Something he had to do.
I kind of hoped that I'd find the answer once we got to Great Britain, but as of right now, I still don't have any clues.
Is that right?
That animation, though! Oh boy! Okay, I think that's actually a good stopping point for this video, and we will, looks like we're heading down to visit home, so we will do that in the next video. I will see you guys then. What the heck were you trying to do in Great Britain, Asogi?